Today I'm going to be telling you guys a story about a person I met. So I was flying out of DCA, which is Ronald Reagan Airport, and I had to use the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, I went to the stall, and while I'm in the stall, and then I heard like two voices in there. And I was like, why is it two guys in one stall? But it was the handicap stall. So you know the handicap stall is a little bit bigger. They're a little bit bigger than the regular ones in the bathroom, in the men's bathroom. So I was like, whatever. Finished using the bathroom. I went to the sink, was washing my hands, and I heard the stall opened up from that bathroom, because it was like right close to where you wash your hands. So I'm sitting there and I'm washing my hands, and like I said, I heard the stall opened up. So by the time I look, I'm washing my hands, and I just heard like the two guys that was in the stall talking. And when I looked to the left, I like froze for a minute, then I put my hands back down and start washing my hands again. I said, nah, that can't be who I think it is. I said, ain't no way that's who that is. And I just heard it was like, excuse me, young man, can you hand me he asked me for like the tissue thing. And I gave it to him. I handed it to him. And then I look again. I said, oh my gosh, y'all, guess who it was? It was the Rev.Jesse Jackson, y'all. Listen to me, y'all. It was Jesse Jackson. It was Jesse Jackson, man. So I look back. I say, Reverend Jesse Jackson? And he just smiled, right? And he would just smile, but he ain't, man, y'all gotta realize, like, growing up in school, they would teach us about Dr. King, Jesse Jackson. So these guys that they would talk about in school. So this ain't like no regular, we watching athletes or superstars or nothing. These are leaders that actually in history class that we learned about. So I was excited. I sure was. I was really excited. So I handed it to him, and I ain't even know what to say. And in my lifetime, I came across a lot of people, a lot of people, man, and he was one of them. So I was like, dang, he was the one in the bathroom. But he was like, so at the time I didn't know he was diagnosed with, the disease he had. I didn't know that. Because I'm still thinking the one they teaches in school, I see him on TV and stuff, but when you see them in person, he's a big guy. Like he's a big fella, man. I mean, like I said, I ain't that tall either, but everybody is to me is big. But no, he's actually a big guy. And he like finished, and the guy he was with was like his bodyguard. And his bodyguard was big too. Bodyguard was like a young kind of dude. He was there with him. So when I turned around, I say, Reverend, your coat. I told the bodyguard, I said, man, his coat's still in there. He forgot his coat in the bathroom. So that explains, I guess, the guy have to help him while he used the bathroom, or at the same time protect him. You know, I mean, if you talking about the Reverend, he was there with Dr. King. You know, he was there when all that went down. Like, he was right there. You know, that's history. I'm standing right next to history. Was standing right next to me in the bathroom. Right there in the bathroom. You know, it was just, so I was like, his coat's still in there. And the guy was like, all right, thank you. So then, it was like a lot of people, I guess people knew he was in there. So people was outside, like, waiting for him outside the bathroom. Once the word spread, I guess somebody heard me say, Rev.Jesse heard me say it, and then they went out there and spread the word. And then once they knew he was there, like, it was people out in the, like, outside in the terminal, like, waiting to see him. So I was still, like, in the bathroom, and he went back. So I was standing there. I didn't walk out yet, because I was like, I'm gonna let him walk past first. You know, I don't want to see, you know, let him come out and get his shine. Let the people see him. So as he walking past me, he did like this. He looked me dead in my eyes and gave me like a little head movement. And then the bodyguard walked past me and gave me like a smile, y'all. Like, it wasn't no regular smile, you know. It wasn't like the bodyguard gave me like a smile. It wasn't no like, all right, have a good. It was more like I took it like they knew who I was. It might sound odd, but I felt like they knew who I was for some reason. Like, he was like, we know who you are. We know you, Eric Mendoza from Takoma Park. And I told people this story. They're like, man, they don't know who you is. They don't know. You just talking, just be talking. How they gonna know you went to Takoma Park? You didn't even win an election. They don't know. And I'm gonna tell you guys, like I told them, how I break it down. It's like, for instance, like the example I use is like a kid that's playing basketball. They watch you. It's called scouting. You don't know who's scouting you. You really don't know. They scout to see who's up, who's coming up, who can we leave a legacy to, who can we draft, or what college can we pick them up. You wouldn't even know until it's time, your 12th grade year, and you get college. That's how it works. And then you get drafted into the NBA. You don't know what NBA team is looking at you. You just work out. It's the same thing, y'all. It's the same exact thing. It's just a different form of scouting and drafting. And me personally, that's the way I took it. I mean, I could be wrong on this situation, you know, but it was the feeling I got. I mean, of course, God has been putting me in places to where it makes me see things and realize certain stuff in life, in my career, and the things that I'm doing in life. Running for office, and what's the chances of me sitting there washing my hands and Jesse Jackson is next to me and I'm handing him something to wipe his hands, and I'm telling his security that he forgot his coat, or me walking into the bathroom not even knowing I'm just handing two guys in the stall. How am supposed to know that's the Reverend next stall in the stall next to me? And a part of me wanted me to be like, hey, I'm Eric Mendoza, city of Takoma Park. I do this, I do that. But it felt like I didn't have to. Like it felt like I didn't have to do that for some reason. And like I said, he just gave me a little head nod. He walked out, the security guard gave me like this smile. And if you come across them, like, they don't even do that. They focus and not smiling, or the Reverend just keeps walking. So I followed them. They went out the bathroom. I followed them out the bathroom. And people were just like, it's the Reverend, it's the Reverend, it's Jesse. You know, he was just waving his hand. So he was barely walking, man. The guy was like, once they got out, like, the dude was like holding his hands, and he was just like shaking. You know, he was just, he was just shaking. And I just remember just standing there for like the longest. I'm just standing there, just like looking at him and just watching all these people just like pulling out their phones, taking pictures, recording them. I said, that's Jesse Jackson, man. And then I'm doing now. Then I snapped out. I was like, oh man, I'm late for my flight. I'm late for my flight. Let me hurry up. I was flying out to Houston, man, to go see my brother. I said, man, let me hurry up. I ended up running. And I remember telling my mother. That's the first person I told was my mom. I said, Mom, guess what you seen? Your mom was like, you ain't see no daggone Jesse. Like nobody believed that I just seen. I was like, why would I lie about seeing Jesse Jackson? And then he was here for. So when I started looking it up, he was here for like a conference. He was talking at some kind of conference, and it was all over the news. So people was like, yeah, Jesse Jackson was in DC. It was just something else, man. So that's my story, y'all. That's one of my stories. I met Jesse Jackson, man, in the bathroom at DCA Airport. And this guy, and the whole time it's like I wanted to ask him a million questions about Dr. King, man. I wanted to be like, hey, what Dr. King do that day? You know, I just wanted to ask him, like, so much stuff was running through my mind that I wanted to ask about political. It's like I had a list of stuff that I wanted to just, like, once I knew it was him, like a million things were just running through my mind. I wanted to ask him, but I was like, you know, you can tell he get asked that all the time. So I was like, you know what? I ain't even gonna tell him what I do, who I am. I ain't, cause he, you know, I would have just been like, hey man, have a good one, you know. Have a good one, you know. It's his last lap, man. So you just let him live his life, you know. Like just let him live. So that head nod just gave me everything I needed, you know. I can say, man, I handed Jesse Jackson. Some of the way was saying he gave me a head nod, you know, that was good enough for me. And that was good enough for me, y'all. Yeah, but you never know. Maybe again, man, I will see him again and run into him again. You never know. And maybe he'll see this story on YouTube, or if I see him again, I'll be like, you remember that time at DCA? That was me. But flying out to DCA, I met a couple other people, couple of politicians that's high in office, man. I had another politician, actually, we was in line, and he actually he paid for my food. He actually, cause he was, I will tell y'all the story another time, man. And this was somebody at the time was being bashed in the Capitol. And he actually was in line. And like I say, I'm in politics. That's all I do is research. I'll be knowing who they are. And that was another shocker, man. And he was like, but I'll tell you out on another one. But that was my story on Jesse Jackson. Dr. King, Monday. I'm always down at the statue. I got pictures at the statue. Like he has a statue in Washington, D.C. A huge one is at that. And that's big. To me, that's a big accomplishment. Like, that'll be there forever. Like, y'all know that's one of my goals, is to have a statue of me in the town of Takoma Park. Would it happen? Who knows? You know, it'll be the first statue in Takoma Park that remembers somebody from Takoma Park. I mean, the only statue we got in the city of Takoma Park is actually a rooster. Everything else is a park, like I talk about a park or something else. It's not an actual statue. So to have a statue in DC, and Dr. King got that, and that is huge. That's an achievement that, man, that's a big achievement. I mean, to be honest with you guys, the next one that I probably won't see in this lifetime, but the next one that probably will get a statue like that will most likely would be Barack Obama. I'm predicting that right now. Barack Obama would be the next statue, and it probably would be next to Dr. King. He would definitely get a statue in DC. But that's hard to do. That's really hard to do. I mean, I would love for that to happen with me. I mean, you can make me a miniature. You already got to make me big. You can make my same size, 5'8". You can make me a 5'8" statue somewhere in DC. You only got to put it down there in the middle. You can put it somewhere out in Southeast somewhere or Southwest. It can be just a little statue of me. Eric Mendoza was known for the city of Takoma Park. And y'all tell the rest. But y'all have a good one, man. That's my story. I'm out. Gone.